us now. The only Taylor that really matters. That's what I say. He's got residency here on Mondays on Up and Adams. Plenty of real estate for our Pro Bowl left tackle for the Tennessee Titans and the co-host of the podcast, Bussin' with the Boys. And it is Spooktober!
Okay, what an intro. What an absolutely incredible intro. And I want you to know, every week we get better and better, right? First week I got things, I got text messages coming left and right. The next week I'm holding my phone for 2 weeks. You mention it. You got to stand. I'm hands-free out here. People are going to come at this, but you know, you need this. You need the little wire. Yeah.
How are you tired?
How are we feeling about Spook?
I know you have.
Listen,
we'll get to Spooktober. You're traveling, and I know you're doing the PJ life. I was stuck in the back of I was sandwiched in the middle of two babies, crying, two Bears fans, mind you, coming from the Midwest. I'm super tired today. Are you not tired of all this traveling? You were out and about this weekend. Like, how's your life right now?
No, my life, honestly, Kay, if I was to complain, I should be put in jail. I have probably the greatest life of all time. I travel all over the country with my best friend and even the boys that work for us, too. They're fantastic. We get to meet amazing people, see games. We were really on the sidelines for Nebraska, Michigan, which is known fondly as the Bussin' Bowl this weekend. My friend and I made a trophy game together. And we got to, and the two schools, like, literally are like, these idiots. We might as well humor them, right, boys? And then they just let it happen. It's the best. It's really the best, dude. It's awesome.
We have a poll up for the favorite definitive best NFL Taylor. Favorite NFL Taylor. You and Lawrence Taylor are at the top. Taylor Swift is only at 17% of the vote. So guys, get them in there for our guy Taylor Lewan. Spooktober, just so I can play along. What are the rules for Spooktober? Embrace Spooktober. Watch something spooky every day. So I could just watch Bears highlights. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. You watch the Bears. So Spooktober, it's very simple, dude. You refer to October as Spooktober. You watch a spooky something every day. It literally could be Halloween Town. It could be like Saw. It doesn't matter, and everything in between. Just a little something. Keep yourself in the spirit. The third one is do an event once a week, whether it's getting a pumpkin spice latte, you're going to a haunted house, grabbing a pumpkin patch, something like that. And the last one, obviously, is embrace the spook. Because people don't understand. It's not just about Spooktober.
Got it.
It's about giving the tip of the cap. It's the commencement of, hey, here we go into the holiday season, baby. After this, we're gorging ourselves in November, and now we're running into December. And look at that, we're shouting to the rooftops about a fat man who lives in the North Pole, and we're just gonna pray to God we get the best presents ever. Like, it's a beautiful time to round out 2023.
Give me the give me the spook that I'm gonna watch. Give me this week's. Hocus Pocus is to me like a weekly watch during this month, but that's not super. It's kind of spook. Give me this. Give me a spook move, and I'll watch it.
It just depends on what you're into and what really gets your nerves up.
Give me an answer. Like, stop with this. You can just give me and spit it out. Give me one
know.
movie.
I'm so bad at that. If I was gonna put anybody on some spooky stuff, it would be the classic slashers, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and the classic Halloween. They're like 80s movies. Scream's great too. Scream's a phenomenal movie. Scream is like, if you were to watch Scream, it's like watching like all the teenage like American Pies and all that stuff with great storylines. Great storylines.
I've never watched it. Little Nev Campbell, little Monica from Friends. Why can't I think of her name?
Yeah. Monica is
got it.
All
right, we'll watch that. All right, let's get into this now. Last night, Chiefs-Jets game, okay? It was very interesting, of course. A lot of cutaways to a lot of Marvel superheroes and a songstress, of course, named Taylor. On the field, though, the Jets... I was watching, I was like, this kid's dealing. Zach Wilson, he's dealing, okay? He's killing it, going toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. They're down 17-zip. What were your thoughts? Let's start here with this penalty called on Sauce. Did that call cost the Jets this game?
I mean, absolutely could, right? At that point in the game, like, that late, that kind of opportunity is one of those things where, like, why are we not just letting the boys play? Why are we? And I'm a Chiefs guy. I like the Chiefs, and I'm a huge fan of Sauce Gardner. But I just look at it and I'm like, why are the refs being attention whores right now? Why do they got to jump in to a game that, if you're worried about, viral moments, you've got them. You've got the Taylor Swift bump. Like, you've got that. Ryan Reynolds is in the building, like you said. Marvel guys. When Sauce Gardner, like, there's a little bit of contact outside of 5 yards, which is the rule, and then he had a little bit of a shirt grab, but very similar to the Super Bowl Philly versus Kansas City as well, when it's like, why aren't we just letting the boys play in these types of situations? To me, it is wild, and it's all, even, and when I was at the prime of my career, was like, why are the refs trying to be a part of this right now? Like, you're basically here as guidance counselors, like, let us play.
Attention whores, refs, Taylor Lewan. That's a nice send. Good little bite.
Take that one.
What do you make of Zach Wilson? Because now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm not super convinced. I got to see him do it again. to say that he turned a corner. What stuck out to you from that gives you any optimism, or just hit me with some reality that he's not him?
No, I don't think there's a level of saying he's him, he's not him. Is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? Probably not. But like, this is how you know the resiliency of an individual is taking when they're in adverse situations, like he has been, right? Everybody counted him out. He's like off season during OTAs is like, whoever comes in here, I'm giving them hell every single day. Well, buddy, it's Aaron Rodgers. And then Aaron Rodgers chirps you with a funny little chirp. Hey, you haven't given me hell at all. He's been counted out since the minute, there was a viral video of him at the draft and he's taking pictures and his eyes are all big. Like he's been hated on. Jets fans are hating on him. The whole National Football League is hating on him because of all the promise of the New York Jets going into the season. And he had the ability to stand toe-to-toe with the defending Super Bowl champs. So I think he deserves flowers. Who I think needs to get, tested right now is Rodney Harrison. That was wild. Am I right? Like,
Tell me.
Sitting there with Chris Jones, who, by the way, I need to give some flowers to Chris Jones. I am a big fan of that man, both on the field and off the field. He's a great individual, and he handled that situation perfectly. But like we kind of talked about before, like Taylor Swift has brought such a wild amount of eyes to the National Football League, that already gets so many eyes week in and week out. Like, Rodney, what are we doing trying to get more clicks? Like, what? Like, why? I know that's the game we're all inevitably playing, is like, how can we get somebody to say something so national media talks about whatever's going on, busting with the boys? Like, we would love for that stuff to happen. However, like the baiting and being like, hey, isn't he trash? I'd be watching that film saying he's garbage. Like, brother, you had an amazing career. Everywhere you walk in the football world, people tip the cap to you and they respect you. But like, we should not be ever taking down a guy like that. Like, he's literally a kid. He's a child. He's 23, 24 years old. I don't know. By BYU, he might be 60. I don't know, but because they go on their trips. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see the reason. Like, you kind of look at it and you walk away from the situation going, what? Why?
It felt
why would you do that?
And then everybody, let's play a little clip. We have it here. It felt personal.
Was Zach better tonight than what you anticipated he would be watching him on tape? And you could be honest.
Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, we knew it was going to be a battle. He's continued to get better week in and week out, and he's continued to lead week in and week out.
But watching that tape, man, you got to look at this dude and say, oh, he is garbage. Like, we should really tear him apart.
Earlier, like I said, Zach Wilson is special, man. You just got to give the guy time. You know what I mean?
Wait. Did you say Zach Wilson is special?
Yeah.
I think he had a special night, but I don't think he's special.
Jack and Tony are like, what is happening? It just felt really, it was, in your opinion, obviously it was crossing a line. But that might work well in that Jets locker room that we're hearing. The Jets defense is, they're not happy. Go make a move at quarterback. Like, we can have opinions on our quarterback. You can't do that. That might work in their favor in a weird way, huh?
Yeah, again, you look at the, I think last week there's like a video of you see Garrett Wilson. He's walking on the sideline saying like, he can't make the throw. Or it looks like they're like reading his lips saying stuff like that. You're like, dang, like these Jets are really falling apart, aren't they? And then they play the Chiefs the way they did. For Rodney, it's like, and this is so cliche, and I know you're going to hate it, but like, people need to put into perspective how hard it is to get to the NFL alone. So to say the word special, it's like, yeah, the scale we're using, is he special as far as like a top tier quarterback in the NFL right now? No, like the statistics show that it's a consensus. Like, he's not special in that way, but he made it to the NFL and he's doing the best he can. And he, besides, the obvious off the field stuff we saw from his personal life this offseason that we're not going to get into, like he's kept his nose clean, and he's done a great job, and he seems like he handled himself really well on Hard Knocks. And so I don't get the shot. I do not understand it.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
It's pretty lame.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Tell us how you really feel, Taylor.
It is, dude.
Yeah, I think, and I think every player sort of has been echoing that online. So you said your piece, and I do think that I loved how much you said about Chris Jones and how well he handled that. After, like once you ask the question, to keep following up like that's a little tough, but he had it in his head. I mean, Rodney was saying this kind of stuff before the game. He was saying he was missing wide open guys in pregame warm-up. So there was sort of like a story that he had built that he wanted maybe validated. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the Miami game, right? So Miami's offense comes out, the 70-point situation, whatever, and then this time the Bills' defense, and I guess our guy McDermott's aggressive defensive play calling sort of worked. What did you see here? Because a lot of people were calling this offense unstoppable.
Yeah, it seems like just two safeties that played a really good football game and guys that stayed in their gaps and just stayed like that was Patriot style defense where it's like guys are doing exactly what they're supposed to do and not trying to do too much in a big game. They handled that well. I think the Dolphins are going to be totally fine. I think I was extremely high on them on the Slips and Picks show that we do on Bustin' with the Boys. I actually picked Miami at +2.5. Obviously, that got buried. That was a tough one, but we're going to come back this week. And then you look at Josh, dude. It's like every year,
oh my God,
we look at him in the beginning of the season. We say this dude's an MVP caliber guy, and he is an MVP caliber guy. And then I think it was like week 1 when Aaron Rodgers gets hurt and the Jets still end up beating the Bills. Everyone's like, they're dead. It's over. It's no longer them. It's, it's the Bengals and it's the Chiefs. And we saw how the Bengals are doing. My boys at Tennessee. Way to go, boys. But I think Miami's going to be fine. The thing that worries me about Miami, because I think they're going to score a whole lot of points. And when they play the Bills again, it's going to be a much better game offensively. But the defensive statistics you showed in the beginning of your show are nerve-wracking. And it's like SEC football. It's like Ole Miss versus LSU this past week. Like both teams can score 100 points in an instance. So I do worry about Miami from a defensive perspective. Obviously, getting Ramsey back would be nice, but is one guy going to make that big of a change? He has that talent, but does it actually happen? I don't know.
Are the Bills the best team in the NFL right now? If you look, you have Josh Allen looking like that. You got Von Miller coming back.
They have. I'm trying to just.
You can't say Bengals. We'll get to that in a second. The Chiefs.
No,
the Chiefs played
definitely
down.
cannot say Bengals.
Who's San
Chiefs
Francisco?
Yes, I would say San Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco, and then I feel like Philly, the way their game went with the Commanders, people are like kind of talking them out of it. But we went into this season, everybody's saying Philly and the 49ers are the two best put together teams in the NFL, and they still are, and their records reflect that in a big way. But dude, Bills are contenders. And Bills Mafia should be hyped up too. And I know every year, like literally in the middle of October, all like, hey, Bills, am I right? And then it kind of falls off. But if I'm Bills Mafia, I'm getting the mustard out, buddy. I'm tailgating all week. I'm getting ready for that thing because it seems like they got it, dude.
They do got it.
They got it.
You know who doesn't got it? The Bengals. And I'm trying not to. I don't want to play the blame game, but at a certain point, like. Is Joe Burrow just the best quarterback that ever was, and he masks all the deficiencies the entire time? And like you can, is he exposing Zach Taylor? I mean, Bengals fans right now are of an unhinged variety. They are like, fire Zach Taylor. I know how you feel about firing coaches, but I mean, ultimately, it's on him how the way things go. Jamar Chase out there. Listen to Jamar Chase after the game. We're going to play it again.
Yeah.
We got it? Hold on. Do we have it? Re-rack that. If we can. No? All right, here we go.
I'm always open. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry.
So he's not happy. Burrow's hurt. Obviously, the offensive line not doing him any favors. The defense isn't like, okay, we got this. You guys are going to suck for the next couple weeks. Maybe the bye week will help them in that. They don't got it. Now they're 1-3. If you're calling the shots, what are you doing with Joe Burrow?
I mean, I'm not necessarily sure what can you do other than, he's got a calf, and I have no idea the severity of a calf. Is it a contusion? Is it a pull? Is it actually an Achilles? I don't know, but it seems like that is a lot to be affecting that kind of gameplay. Zach Taylor, it'd be ridiculous to fire that guy right now. And I know I've kept that same thing this season, but that'd be an absolutely ridiculous thing. I don't know what their issue is. I don't know what the problem is. It seemed like the first drive of that game against Tennessee, it's like they drove, and Joe Mixon was running the ball. He's averaging like 5 yards per carry, easy. They ran it 5 times, threw it 5 times, and they couldn't get it in the end zone. And that's against a Tennessee defense that's statistically pretty good. And so I just don't understand. I don't get it. I think Joe is fantastic. I think obviously he is one of the best wide receiving core. His offensive line.
Here's my question: do you bench Joe? This is the worst offense in the National Football with Joe Burrow. Okay, not bench him. Let him rest. Not obviously. Don't Mac Jones him. That's not what I'm talking about. 32nd ranked offense right now, both scoring in total yards. All the problems, the play calling, third down, O-line, you got to start looking at not who's to blame, but who's going to step up. And it does come down to coaching. Zach Taylor, where are you? This roster has so much talent. You got to find a way. And a full-strength Burrow must be the best quarterback that ever existed to have this many issues still like going on. The Packers went to 2 NFC title games with Rodgers playing on a wobbly calf, pull, strain, whatever it is. He's like allegedly, reportedly helping Joe Burrow with how can I still will my team to being a contender. We saw the Pats have an 11-5 season with Matt Castle. The problem for me is how could you not have had a better backup situation? How are we in this situation where we have to roll Joe Burrow out there? I'm seriously considering I wonder if the conversation is happening, let's rest Joe Burrow for 2 weeks, then you get the bye, then you get him back healthier and try to make a run because that's almost all you can do right now.
Yeah, but then you lose both those games. You start the season 1-5, and then it's like now you're playing catch up. You got to win all of them because you're in the AFC North, and the AFC is the strongest division out of the 2 divisions. I think it's the play calling. If there's going to be an issue, because if you watch the Titans game, they ran the ball effectively, and they could have done that the entire game if they wanted to. Obviously, Vrabel's going to make adjustments here and there, but I mean, they're playing a bunch of guys off the whole time. They're playing deep. They're not threatened by the run.
Okay.
And Joe Mixon was balling out there. Literally, the offensive line was winning the line of scrimmage early in that game, which is very unlike the Tennessee Titans. And you could have just kept running that. The minute they start bringing guys low in the box, as if Derrick Henry's playing against them, you just go and you start doing a couple play actions and getting that mid-range throwing going. But it's like, you can't – what's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And that is what seems like Zach Taylor is doing with his play calling. Like if Joe's not 100%, then take it out of his hands and let the players around him because you've got stallions around you, brother. You've got people that can play a good ball.
So and Zach Taylor, one thing you can say, he abandons the run probably a little too early. It's just something that he's done and always done. So like they need to find a way. But like you even saying like they lose those 2 games. If the Bengals can't beat the Cardinals without Joe Burrow, what does that say about the Bengals? What does it say about Zach Taylor? What does it say about how freaking good Joe Burrow? That's where I am as a fan. I'm like, no, rest Joe Burrow and go beat the snot out of the Cardinals and let's get him rest.
The
if he
Cardinals
had a better backup, we'd be in business. That's what I think.
Yeah. To me, the Cardinals are like gnats, and that's not a disrespectful thing. I refer to myself as a gnat when I played. It's like you're never like the Cardinals. Are they the best team? No. Is their talent good? No. But you got to kill them every week. They're not just going to roll over and die. Like they're not a playoff contending team. But you saw the Dallas Cowboys, who I've, for whatever reason, been fond of on this show, and they looked terrible against them 2 weeks ago. So it's like one of those any given Sunday type things. And you're right. If they had a better backup, that'd be great. But that is, that's the world we're living in. You pay a left tackle a whole bunch of money. You pay Joe Burrow a whole bunch of money. There's going to be some holes in different areas. And that's the scary thing if you're a Bengals fan right now, is you need to realize, like, well, the minute you pay a quarterback the amount of money you pay Joe Burrow, you are now on a ticking time bomb to when is this golden era going to blow up? Unless it turns into a Tom Brady situation where you take a whole bunch less money. Like, you have to go win now. You've got to go win now because – Jamar Chase is coming up. T. Higgins didn't get paid. Like the offensive line is always a revolving door every single year. Who knows what's going to happen with the defense? Like there's always, you don't have time on your side in the NFL. You don't have it, and you have the team to win now. So something has to change, and looks in the mirror need to happen, probably in the coaching staff.
I want to ask you one more. Do you have time to just talk Cowboys really quick before we have to let you go?
I can talk about whatever you want. Absolutely.
You're officially, my friend. You're officially on the gosh darn roller coaster with this team. They bounced back in a big way. They beat the Pats 38-3. Bill Belichick gets his worst loss ever. Bill benches Mac Jones. He throws 150 yards. He's over. It's zappy time. No turnovers. The Cowboys defense is good. We still haven't seen what we're hoping for when Bill O'Brien took over as OC, of course, up there with New England. But what do you make of the Cowboys roller coaster? Where are you at?
That's a good question. Because it is like one of those things, speaking both sides of my mouth, like the Cardinals lost, you're like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, are you guys good or not good? Like, what's the deal? But then you go against the Pats in New England, where their defense statistically always plays really good, and you dummy them the way they did. Mac Jones takes care of the ball horribly. There's pick sixes, there's fumbles in the, backed up. It's just really, really bad. I think the jury's still out in the Cowboys, especially in the NFC East. The jury's still out because the NFC East, dude, is so good. Like we saw the Commanders take the Eagles to overtime.
They got the Niners on Sunday.
I know. I think the Niners win that game.
You do?
Yes. Yeah, I think the Niners, I'm riding the Niners till they lose. And then I'll come on the show and be like, hey, we finally lost. Thank God. I can start to think logically. But I think the Niners right now, in my mind, they're going 17-0.
So it's Niners, it's Bills, and then it's somewhere down here is Zach Wilson and company.
Yeah.
Okay, tonight, who you got? Seahawks at Giants, and we got to let you go because I know you got lots going on with us with the boys.
Yeah, I got Seahawks plus 1.5. I think that probably changed to a pick 'em, but I got Seahawks. I think Geno Smith's been doing some nice stuff out there, and I think the boys are going to win it.
And everybody go to Twitter and tell Taylor Lewan whether or not you think Sean Payton's a good coach, because I asked you this last week. You said he is.
Yeah, but you know what? Then you always go back to the film, Kay. You go back to the film and you've watched what you said and you say, okay, what did I mean when I said that? And you go look at it, it's like, had a hell of a quarterback for a long time, didn't he?
Did he fall off? Are you telling me he fell off?
I don't know. I can't really say that. They did have a massive comeback. Could have actually just changed the whole trajectory of their season. I am comfortable saying the Bears are dead. I'm also comfortable in saying CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is the greatest quarterback to ever come out of Ohio State, ever. That's not saying a whole lot.
Pew, pew.
That's not saying a whole lot at all.
He is killing it. He is killing it right now. All right, we love it. Guys, check out Bussin' with the Boys. I'm going to need to hear more on this Sean Payton film watching after this because they did pull it off. But I'm glad, water is wet, the sky is blue, and the Bears are dead. Got it. Death taxes and the Bears are dead in the NFL season. All right, we appreciate you, Taylor. Thanks for taking some extra time to talk about your Cowboys ups and downs. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest Up and Adams content right on YouTube.